Doing this job is a privilege. Doing a job where you talk to people, where you talk to the camera, that's a privilege. There are people out there give a damn about what I'm discussing here, enough for them to watch, share, like, and some of them even become members or subscribers or join my VIP list. So part of the covenant that I have with my viewers is that when I screw up, that I own up. I don't hide, I don't duck. So now I have to own up, okay? I covered a story about Marilyn Mosby, the former Baltimore City State's attorney. I said that, yeah, it looked like it was politically motivated. I said, yeah, it looks like this is garbage. It looks like no one was hurt in this. Yada, 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 yada. Okay? I have to take that back. I have to retract my statements. Why? Because I screwed up. Because Marilyn Mosby is not worth defending. And worse than that, I think she got off very, very easily, right? She got off too easy, almost to the point where this is no justice at all. And I'm really pissed off right now. I'm pissed off at Marilyn Mosby. But more than that, I'm pissed off at myself. I should have quit this one. In fact, I had an idea when I first looked at the story and I saw Marilyn Mosby going to Breakfast Club. I said, damn it, guys, why is no one asking important questions like, did you actually do it? Did you perjure yourself? Did you commit bank fraud or mortgage fraud? The answer is yes. So what are we even talking about? You did it. Okay? And there's a penalty for doing it. If you want to throw yourself on the bench for justice, for mercy, fine. But trying to rally the troops to get everybody to feel sorry for you when you did the damn thing is ludicrous, right? But for some reason, I ended up feeling like, hey, how bad did she do? What's the worst that she did? You know, she got access to her own pension money. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? You know, it's not a big deal. Why are they going after her for 40 years? The truth was they weren't going after her for 40 years. They were going after her for 20 months. And other people have had to do 20 months, and some had to do more than that for similar things that she did. So let me get to the bottom of this. First of all, the first thing about this case, and the main reason why she's running around with Angela Rye and claiming to be victim and good Roland Martin to roll out the red carpet and lie and the lie machine, getting that all cranked up and Mark Lamont Hill backing that, which I fell for because I thought Mark was honest. If the bottom line was, this had nothing to do with Freddie Gray, this had to do with Marilyn Mosby. Freddie Gray case was back in 2015. Marilyn Mosby, since then, she ain't the same Marilyn Mosby she used to be. Or maybe she never was. And I want to shout out Judge Joe Brown for putting out a stern indictment of Marilyn Mosby. She's the only person I saw really do it. And I want to thank the brother who hit me up in my comment section and said I screwed up and I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. And I want to thank me for being humble enough to realize it and then look it up. Like I said, no one likes to be wrong. But anyway, back to Marilyn Mosby. Do you realize that this woman took 23 trips? Yeah, while she was working. She took 23 trips, and that's what put her on the radar of the feds. It was the same thing that happened to Tiffany Kenyard. Living extravagantly as a public servant will put you on the radar. Will have feds look at you. She took 23 trips in 2018 and 2019, accumulating $30,000 in reimbursements. She attended conferences. She went places out of the country, Portugal, Germany, saying she's studying their criminal justice systems. She wants to implement them here in Baltimore. Meanwhile, Baltimore, at the time, was the murder capital of the country. And you mean the Baltimore City State's attorney, lead prosecutor, is out of the country at the time? Meanwhile, she's collecting a full salary of well over $200,000, plus making speaking engagements. All this publicity derived from what? From what? The Freddie Gray case, which she shit the bed on. She didn't get a single conviction in that case because she shouldn't even brought that case until she had real evidence, some proof, some way to seal it up. All the officers walked But the only thing that she gained in that case was a national profile, popularity. And she used that to make money. Hence all the speaking engagements and running around the country and going to the Capitol and hanging out with Kamala Harris. So back to the point about how she popped her head up enough for the feds to come for her. It wasn't because she's black, and it wasn't because she's a woman, and it had nothing to do with the deceased Freddie Gray. It had to do with her living lavishly and traveling around the country and taking 85 days off. Who takes off 85 days? Do you realize 85 days off is 30% of your employment time in a year? She took off 85 days. She said it was her trying to do a better job to become more familiar with different ways to enforce crime and to eliminate mass incarceration and to help poor black people better. The only poor black people she was helping was herself. The only problem was she wasn't poor anymore. I don't even know if she ever was. She traveled included destinations, Germany, Portugal, Kenya, and Scotland, as well as various states in the United States. In May 2019, Mosby established Mahogany Elite Enterprise LLC, which includes Mahogany Elite Travel and Mahogany Elite Consulting. The business aims to help underserved black families travel at discount rates, but is not operational until Mosby is out of state office. She opened up a travel agency. Okay? All of the extracurriculars are what popped her head up. Now, that's just a guess, but I think what really did it, I'm going to say those things did not help her, but what really did it was an investigation by a local newspaper. Okay, so there's this local newspaper called WBFF. Mosby's office filed a complaint with the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, against Baltimore television station WBFF, which had been critical of Mosby, alleging the station's coverage of her office was blatantly slanted, dishonest, misleading, racist, and extremely dangerous. The complaint also stated, "We welcome being held accountable. We welcome being held accountable." So you know what they did? They took her up on her welcome. They started really investigating her. That's what they did, and that's when they found out about everything. They found out about all the travel. They found out about all the LLCs. They found out about the lifestyle she was leading, which led down the rabbit hole of discovering, yes, she used the CARES Act and said she had financial hardships when she had no financial hardships. I already stated she made over $200,000, well over $200,000 a year, just from her salary as Baltimore City State's attorney. She didn't make less money because of the COVID shutdowns. She was on salary. So unlike some people who had a financial hardship because of COVID, she did not experience that. So she lied, which led to her perjury convictions. Also, so I really screwed up in this. Marilyn Mosby got the full benefit of the law. She won a battle in court to have the charges on separate cases. So when Marilyn Mosby got convicted, she got convicted in two separate trials. Two separate trials, okay? That's really damning when you lose two separate trials. Not to mention, back it up a minute, she petitioned the court to have the cases taken out of Baltimore because she didn't want the Baltimore people who she'd been serving all this time to actually sit on the jury. So she went to Greenbelt. People in Maryland know how Greenbelt rolls. People in Maryland know how Greenbelt rolls. Greenbelt's more white than Baltimore, okay? Baltimore City any day, okay? So she chose it, and it didn't help her. But who leaves the city they've been working in, if they've been doing such a great job for the citizens, who would want to change jurisdictions? Marilyn Mosby, because she hasn't been doing such a great job. Marilyn Mosby, because she lost her job. She was voted out. Ivan Bates took her job because Baltimoreans had lost faith in her. They felt she was a corrupt politician. That's why she wanted to move jurisdictions. I should have caught this the first time. Foolishly, I believed that this was just a lightweight story. And it's, once again, this is not the most detrimental story that I'll cover this year, not even close to it. But the fact is this. Marilyn Mosby was doing something that I detest. She was using her blackness as a defense, using her blackness and claiming victim, when in fact she's a prosecutor and she's been over-prosecuting people such as Keith Davis Jr., okay? That's it, Keith Davis Jr. Marilyn Mosby been over-prosecuting this guy. She took this young man to court 4 times. She tried him 4 times for the same murder. It was obvious that the police were trying to frame this guy. They shot him in the face, said he killed somebody when he didn't. Okay, Keith Davis was tried 4 times for the murder of a security guard at Pimlico Coast Racetrack in 2015. After 7.5 years behind bars and 4 murder trials, he's now a free man. Prosecutors agreed to drop all the charges. It took the prosecutor that beat out Marilyn Mosby to come in and throw these charges out. Bad charges. In fact, the young man is suing the police department and Marilyn Mosby for malicious prosecution. They planted a gun, allegedly, it appears, and they applied excessive force against this young man, shooting him for running when he hadn't done anything. And then said he had a gun when he didn't. And didn't do fingerprint analysis or any DNA analysis to determine if that was his gun or not. Like, meaning someone could have put the gun there and said he had a gun when he didn't have a gun. Okay? So Baltimore was soured on Marilyn Mosby for a lot of reasons. Baltimoreans not feeling her. Yes, she threw a bone to the people about the Freddie Gray case. But then she went after this young man and cost 7 years of his life behind bars on bogus charges. So I don't think Marilyn Mosby deserves our kindness and our forgiveness. She's just another prosecutor, but she framed it better by pretending to be a friend to the people, pretending and making this narrative and getting behind this national push to go after bad police when it turns out she's bad police. She's bad criminal law enforcement personnel. She's bad public servant. She is what she said she was out here trying to fix. And she's part of the Democratic Party machine. They circled the wagons around their girl to do their best to make sure she never faced the repercussions of her own actions. So all the people, look, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I screwed up on this. I find no evidence that she was being maliciously prosecuted or that this was retaliation for Freddie Gray. In fact, I'm still pissed about Freddie Gray, and I think she mishandled the case as I've been looking at it differently, looking at it again, looking at all the evidence, listening to my brother Muhammad out there at the Spirit of Baltimore. Damn it. It's a great podcast. I'm going to listen to podcasts. Brother Darren Muhammad, I think it is. He's got an Instagram channel, Instagram page. He does a radio show in Baltimore. I think it's the Spirit of City of Baltimore. It's fantastic. Real talk, okay? Right out of the diary, right out of the bloodline, it seems, of Petey Green. You know what I'm saying? Like real straight dope. And he tells you all about what's going on in Baltimore. So at the end of the day, man, what I'm saying with Marilyn Mosby is anybody who's defending her, and I don't mean regular folks, I don't mean citizens. Citizens get food all the time. Citizens believe narratives that all black people, no matter the ones that are kissing ass to the Democratic Party or not, are all victims of the system. When in fact, she's a part of the very system that victimizes us. It's the other way. But I'm not blaming those regular citizens. What I'm saying is commentators who report for a living, any of them that were sitting here pushing this BS narrative that Marilyn Mosby was some victim please reconsider if there are people on the side of justice. Please reconsider. Ask yourself, are they being honest about this woman? And why are they being dishonest if they're not being honest? Why are they defending her? Why are they up here pretending that this woman does not deserve to pay for what she did? But other people, people without money, people without the benefit of friendship with Angela Rye, who could have Benjamin Crump come out and stump for her, even though he's not on the case. How is it not a conflict of interest when you got Roland Martin's friend, that lawyer that goes on his show all the time, is one of her defense attorneys. And then Roland comes out here swinging and has a major video with 400,000 views on it, supporting her. How is that not a conflict when that's his guy, who's a regular on his show, who was defending her? Yeah, he ended up having to leave her defense, but at the end of the day, it seems like everything's true about the boule. And I don't like using terms like boule, but there is definitely an in-group of black elites. There's an in-group of black elites who stick up for each other, who fight for each other, who are always getting kickbacks from the Democratic Party, who continue to be a part of the machine. And those people operate above us. Those people don't want to have the same treatment as regular citizens. And they pretend, they feign like they're fighting on our behalf, when in reality, they are the people that we need to fight. So yeah, I messed up on this story. I fell for the banana in the tailpipe. But I'm correcting it, and I'm removing the banana, because that ain't where it goes. No bananas in my tailpipe. And if I'm ever caught slipping, I come back and immediately unslip. So Marilyn Mosby, you may have got away with this one. It looks like you got away with this one. But if I was you, I'd take it and run. Take it and run and take your home detention and accept it. But as arrogant as you are, you probably won't. And I hope somewhere, somehow, in your ignorance or arrogance, of not wanting to accept the gift that was handed to you of no prison time, I hope some way you get more prison time. I hope some way someone is able to bring a case to humble you for the people of Baltimore, for the people of Freddie Gray and of Keith Davis Jr. All right. My name is Tim Black. You know where to find me. Go to jointimblack.com. If you find it in your soul and your heart to respect a brother who's fallible, who makes mistakes, but who also has the courage, the guts, and the ethics to come back and say, hey, my bad. I screwed up on this case, but it's not because I wanted to defend a corrupt politician. It was because I believe that race can have a play. And more than that, the political vengeance does happen. But not in this case. Nah, not in this case. In this case, we got somebody who used her position to elevate her own life, not the lives of others. And definitely not the lives of Baltimoreans. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.